One day, I will be the king of pirates. In the meantime, wow. So One Piece is officially 1,000 chapters long now. It's unreal to even think about that. It feels like I just got into it a year ago. But I guess at this point it's almost 23, maybe more than that. I'm only like a year older than this series, and I'm not going to spoil anything in this video pertaining to One Piece, but it's more of an appreciation post. I can't fathom. I just finished the latest chapter, and it's just surreal to see how far it's come, the roads traveled, and what lies ahead. And if you asked me a couple years ago what I thought of One Piece and it ending and kind of getting towards that, because while we're not close, we're getting there, there's an idea, I would have said I just don't want it to end. Like, I'm more of afraid of it just bombing and then being soiled because of a poor ending. But with what's happened up in these most recent chapters, with a lot of explanation, to finally getting an idea of what the One Piece is and the end game of this entire series, I'm genuinely excited. Like, pure excitement. I have total faith that it'll be put at least to a decent extent. I'm sure it's been so hyped up at this point of what it could possibly be that it won't meet some people's expectations on how it could end, and it is what it is. But I think for most people that have just been enjoying the ride, it's become more of it's about the journey, not the destination, even though it quite literally started with it's about the destination. But at this point, it's been going on so long, so much development's happened, and so many numerous arcs that are just banger after banger. It's really hard to really complain about what we've gotten so far, even if it did end kind of meh. But I think it won't. I have a little more faith as it goes on that we're getting towards something special here. And it already is something special. But if they can land that ending, I could cry. It's beautiful. I genuinely, when it comes to like the big three that everybody knows, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece has always been like my baby. Just because, I mean, it's the only one still going. And it's just, there's something special about it. While I've recently been getting into Bleach, anybody that looks in the background of these videos prior to this and up to this one knows I've been currently reading Bleach. We'll get to that in a different one. And Naruto has been, I mean, I got into that just probably a little bit after One Piece, really. And then, yeah, it's hard to really pin down, but it's just super special, and I had to make a video about it. This might be boring to some people, but I don't care. I enjoy this. I just want to talk about it. I'm too excited to just thinking about how far it's come. I think the craziest thing about One Piece is it just doesn't seem like it should work. There's so much stuff that there's so many types of races of characters, so many different physics and things to explain throughout each arc, how powers work and new introduction stuff. But I think the beautiful thing about this story is it's all implemented in a way that's believable. Oda crafts these just worlds that combine and mesh together, whether it's an island up in the sky or below the sea, or just like in the most unbelievable place that you couldn't possibly believe something could happen that way, or animal people not just being a super jarring thing to throw into the mix with humans, or fish people, or just it's so absurd straight out the gate, and it just kind of sets that tone. And the world building, I think, is what makes this so special. There's so much that they give you all at once, yet drip feed at the same time, where it's like they'll just smack you with a super important detail, but it doesn't really matter yet. But then when it comes up 400 chapters later, you're like, oh wait, that makes sense, because that thing was introduced just to kind of give you an idea of how everything kind of meshes together. And now when they really delve into the things, the nitty gritty and the hard to explain stuff, it makes sense because you've had it in the back of your mind planted and just kind of been aware of something that exists. And he just keeps doing that. The reason I think each arc feels like it gets better all the way up to the end, like he just doesn't miss. It always seems to get better, and I've always wondered why, but I think it's because you literally get introduced to stuff that you think doesn't matter. You legitimately will meet a character in chapter like 29 and be like, yeah, whatever, it's just a throwaway person in the back of the crowd. And legitimately, either 5 chapters later, 50 chapters later, or 500 chapters later, they end up being like a main character that is pivotal to accomplishing a goal. How he doesn't just blank and miss a character that he's like, oops, I forgot this was included here, and then it's just a plot hole, blows my mind. It's like actual 5-head the entire time. It's so cool. I have no words. My tiny monkey brain could never fathom being able to craft such a complex and yet very non-convoluted world. It just keeps building on itself without it becoming Kingdom Hearts or anything that just gets super confusing. And it seriously blows my mind. I couldn't be more grateful. And the manga, which obviously is what we're talking about, I can't really get into the anime itself. I'm definitely hardcore, like the manga's a 10 out of 10, but the anime it's okay, I guess. It's art. I legitimately don't know how week after week he makes these panels that are just so dense. So dense. There's some volumes of manga I forget when I'm reading One Piece. It takes me like 2 hours to read. Well, I'm also read at like a 5th grade level because small brain. But it takes me like a couple hours to read one volume of One Piece because it's so dense with so much information that matters. You don't want to skip it. Normally you get a wall of text and you're like, no, miss me with that. I just want the action. But it gives you both of them and you just don't even realize it because you're reading all this information and getting fed all this important stuff. But then there's so much like beautiful stuff to look at on the panels. It's insane. I just don't even notice until I take a step back and really think about it. But it's art. It's legitimate art. I love it. It's not just like lazy, like one punch per panel and it's like a whole fight is 2 pages. It'll have like a fight with multiple hits and impacts, and that's only like half the page. And then there's more after that, and then it just keeps going. It's incredible. Anybody that is really hesitant on One Piece, please just give it a shot. What I always tell people with One Piece that are hesitant on getting into it is you don't have to binge it. You don't have to go through all of it in one sitting. It's super long, but that doesn't mean that has to be your commitment for life. Take it off in chunks. Even I've done that. I've taken multiple breaks just to let it catch up because I hate weekly or bi-weekly, God forbid, with breaks. And with the most recent chapters, there's probably like a break every couple chapters, so it's bi-weekly basically. I can't do that. But just take it bite-sized pieces. Just do one arc and then take a break and then come back. And I promise you it's worth it. Just give it a shot, especially the manga. I can't preach too much about the anime because I've only watched like the first few seasons of it, and that was way back. That was like the 4Kids version, like water guns instead of actual guns, and just, we don't talk about those days. And the thing I could not be more grateful for is the fact that while it feels like the entire premise of this show is hardcore on the power of friendship, which is like by far like one of the most cringy things you can. Just saying that probably made somebody just kind of wince and recoil sitting there. But here, it genuinely feels like it works because it's maybe not like the power of friendship per se, but like just having someone's back and like sticking through something no matter what, and just powering through even after just getting absolutely walloped on. Luffy, and just like, I think that's what I like so much about Luffy and the Straw Hat crew and just most characters in this series is it's not just easy victories constantly, and while there are some of them to get like just past certain parts, when it comes to like main clashes and stuff, the plot armor is not super thick. There is a lot of getting absolutely thrashed before anywhere near a victory is in sight. And I really appreciate that because it creates amazing development. There's so much growth because there's so much adversity for every single character that even now, even 1,000 chapters in, after numerous power-ups and new skills and traits are adapted and learned about, they still get slapped down by other people that have gone through similar stuff and have gotten stronger and improved. And it's just always trying to one up and become better and learn from your mistakes or adapting to someone's new fighting style, which is why like the devil fruit system and just different people's powers and stuff and how everyone learns differently in this, it's why I like it so much, because there's always that new thing. It gives that like impossible to predict understanding of what could be around the next corner. It could be legitimately anything. Giants, sea people, you want just tiny people, like literal tiny people that can pick you up and just like Ant-Man you. It's absurd. There's so much stuff. Samurai versus dragons versus a dude who's a literal rubber band as the main character. I love it. It's so stupid. It's amazing. Because you shouldn't be able to take this seriously, but you do. It's got so much heart to it. It's so it's hard. It's seriously hard to explain, but at the same time, it's just this series that's super lighthearted and goofy half the time. So you get the laughs and you get the warm fuzzies, but then you get that like just serious like gut-wrenching despair and the action and just absolute adrenaline from other parts. It's crazy. There's some parts in this that feel like, oh, this is totally for kids, but then there's other parts that are like, I don't think a kid should ever see that. Like lately in like the last 50 chapters or so, there was like a full like crucifixion and everything and a firing squad death, and it's just like, how did they get away with that? Oh my god, that's so brutal. And then you'll have my boy Sanji just like fawning over girls constantly. The man literally almost dies numerous times because just from seeing beautiful women. A man after my own heart, and it's the reason it was the first figure I ever bought. You think I'm bullshit, but I know if you got eagle eyes, you already know. You already know what's up. I don't play games. I mean it, my boy. And that's the thing. There's so many characters in this series that you can legitimately... They have a birthday calendar where there's only 3 days, I believe, that aren't taken on the entire calendar because they have everyone's official birthdays marked throughout it. And most of them have 2 to 3, even more on some days, characters for a day of the calendar, and there's still 3 open, so I don't know what's going on with those. So if one of your birthdays is on those 3 days, I'll have to look them up. I'll probably put them right here. Go put them on there. But the fact that there's that many characters is absolutely insane. But it also means that there's probably someone that someone can hard identify with, because there's such a diverse cast between the main characters and the absolute obscurity that is some of the other characters, that you probably will find somebody that in this story that you're just like, oh, you identify with that, and you just really want to see more of them and how they interact with everybody, which tangentially will make it so you kind of want, you just grow with everybody as everybody kind of learns about each other. And then, I mean, at this point, as far in as it is, everybody's just kind of, you know, the dynamics, so it's just more, you just feel like you've known these characters for so long. And to be honest, after over 20 years, you kind of do. Really. This video was absolutely just a ramble fest, so if you found it boring, whoops. That's my bad. Otherwise, I literally just wanted to talk about this. I absolutely love One Piece. I probably said excited and ridiculous and insane probably 1,000 times in this for 1,000 chapters. That's appropriate. But let me know in the comments down below who your favorite characters are, if you have kept up with One Piece, or if you're even like part way through, where you're at. Do you have a favorite character? Are you still trying to figure out what your favorite characters are? Who's best girl? Vivi, easy. Unofficial crew member, don't at me, best girl. No contest. Nami is too simple. Robin, okay, I could kind of understand. And then you could go really obscure with any of the other ones. I respect it. Sanji, best boy. Easily best character overall for me. What's your favorite arc? Hit me with that. There's so much stuff to comment below. I want to see more comments on these videos. If you're here, then please comment at this point, because after this god-awful ramble, if you were able to tolerate all the way through here, or clicked right to this exact moment and just got unlucky, comment below anyway. I want to know what you guys think. Favorite arcs, favorite characters. Let me know. I love to read it. Otherwise, that's all I really want to talk about for now. If you enjoyed, literally obliterate that frickin' like button. Gomu Gomu no jet pistol gorilla gun. Hit me with all the rubber bands possible on that subscription. Make me the king of YouTube. Pirates. No, just YouTube. It's greatly appreciated. It goes a long way. I genuinely love you. Join the club. We need more of you. 1,000 chapters. Thousands of subscribers. Yeah. Other than that, have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.